Good morning, friends. It's Bob again. It's a kind of a chilly, rainy morning. I'm a little bundled up here in my own house. I love it. It's just so different than our normal, just warm and warm and sunny all the time. So anyway, I want to share with you this morning about just some things from my own quiet time with the Lord. Thinking about and looking at Simon Peter, and the way that Luke writes about him is pretty fascinating. Listen to this story, and here's where I'm going with this, is that Peter has this process that he's going through in terms of he's moving from little information about Jesus and then more information, more encounter with Jesus, and he is moving from a place of sort of casually believing to complete commitment in terms of him being completely on board as a follower of Jesus. So that's the process that we're looking at here. Now, the way that Luke records it is really interesting because Luke has done his research and everything, and he has he's chronicling this in terms of the way that it happened. Simon Peter is a resident of Capernaum. It's a city on the top of the northern portion of the Sea of Galilee. And so it says that Jesus goes to Capernaum. He enters a synagogue, which probably Peter is there in the synagogue, and Jesus teaches, and his words are different. They just have more. They have a kind of authority. He casts out a demon there in the synagogue, which is kind of interesting all in itself. That in the synagogue there's somebody that actually has a demon. And then after that, then he goes to Simon's house. This is before Simon becomes a follower of his. That he goes to Simon's house, ends up healing his mother-in-law. So somebody in his sphere is actually healed, and in his under his own roof. And after that, then actually it says that people hear about this, and people from all over the town, they just start bringing sick people to Jesus, and Jesus heals them all. And it's just a major healing meeting. Again, this is all happening kind of in front of Simon, and he is in this place, still not in this place of certainty in terms of what do I think about this Jesus and my commitment to him. And then it says that in Luke chapter 5, that was all in chapter 4. In Luke chapter 5, it says that Jesus then, you know the story where he's teaching people are all crowded in. And so what ends up happening is there's a couple of boats sitting there. One belongs to the sons of Zebedee, James and John. One belongs to Peter and Andrew. And so he gets into Peter's boat and he says, hey, can you put out a little bit so that I can just get a little bit of distance so that people can hear me? Jesus teaches with that whole thing. And then after he's done, so Simon has heard him speak at the synagogue. He has seen him heal his own mother-in-law. That Peter is an apostle and he's actually married. That's, just an ancillary thing about the story that I think is important. And then from there, all these healings happen. Again, Simon is observing. And then from there, he has the boat. He hears Jesus teaching from the boat, teaching all these people. And then Jesus says, Simon, put your nets out into the water a little bit. And Simon's like, hey, Lord, look, you stick with the teaching stuff. I'm a fisherman. We fished all night, but okay, I guess. And so they go out, they put their boats out, they put the nets out, and bam, it's just like a major catch of fish. The fish are basically just, running to the net instead of away from it. He calls James and John over. Those guys in their boat, they're trying to haul this. It says that both boats were so full of fish that they almost sank. And you have this, as I was looking at this, I see this sort of rough and tumble Simon Peter. And Simon is in this place where he is unsure about Jesus, or unsure about who Jesus is and who Jesus is to him. And then he goes through this process, and all of us go through this kind of process at some level where we have little knowledge of Jesus, or Jesus is actually doing this chipping away because he wants us all in. And he is calling us and drawing us in, and he's willing to use all of these different kinds of experiences to draw us closer to him and to cause inside of our minds a dawning, an awakening that he sees and he hears and he sees and he hears. And each time the Lord is drawing him nearer and nearer and nearer to him. At the end of this fish catch, Peter says, Lord, depart from me. I'm an evil man. I'm a sinful man. And because Peter's ashamed because he's had all of this input and hasn't actually gotten what God is actually trying to do with all the input. And the Lord is in all these inputs. He's been trying to bring Peter into a place where Peter is actually all in, that he is, and so you remember Jesus's response to him is like, Pete, he doesn't say bad dog, no. And he doesn't shame him. He says, no, Pete, from here on out, we're going to be fishing for bigger fish, for people. We're going to be fishing for bigger fish. I've had my eye on you the whole time, and I have been drawing you to myself to reveal to you more and more so that you are more and more all in, and that as you are all in, then you actually take steps to be my follower, to be completely my follower, not just sort of my follower, not just a little bit my follower, but completely mine. And I'm going to do something with you, just a rough and tumble fisherman. You actually, eventually, as we find out later, that Peter's going to be given the keys to the car, the keys to the church, that he's going to be the senior leader. What? This knucklehead? Yes, this knucklehead. What's beautiful about that, there's so many things that are beautiful about that. One is that the Lord has taken the initiative to reveal himself to us over and over again in such a way that it will draw us into a more full commitment to him, so that we would be completely his followers, completely his disciples, students of Jesus. Secondly, that Peter's just not the guy that you would think has the pre-qualifications for all this stuff, yet God chooses him anyway. And then thirdly, that the Lord is patient in the whole process. All these power encounters, different kind of things like that. Peter still isn't on board, and the Lord is patient with him. But the Lord has a purpose for him that is bigger than himself, and the Lord sees that the whole time. That's what he sees about you, that no matter where you are and what you're doing, the Lord is drawing you into his purposes in a more powerful and a more concerted way. And he wants your full commitment, not your partial commitment, not sort of a Sunday drive-by, not a kind of a commitment where it says, well, I had this one great mountaintop experience and that's what I needed. It's not life insurance. It's not fire insurance from hell. It's not just so that you get to go to heaven when you die. It is about you being chosen on purpose before the foundation of time, and God being patient with you to draw you and I into a place of commitment where he can now deploy us into his kingdom service. This is what happened with Simon. This is what happens with you. Thanks so much for listening to me. Would you take some time to reflect on that today, that the Lord is doing that. He's giving all kinds of input, and he's drawing you into a more full-orbed commitment to him so that you are living on purpose. I love you. I'm walking with you in this. God bless you.